What's up, everybody? I'm here with my good buddy Joe. And we're doing with some of the veterans on the team or people that have been in real estate for longer than a year and have closed some deals, which is you. And we have so many new people that are coming into this industry. They kind of have an idea of what to expect the first year. Like, I'm
And
going to
yet
be
not.
making a lot of phone calls, and I'm going to be selling real estate like crazy, and everything's going to go super spectacular.
Yeah.
Everyone's had a little bit different experience. So, Joseph, you're a buyer's agent.
Yep.
What year did you start?
I started August 2 years ago.
August.
So a
2
little
years.
over 2 years.
A little over
Yeah.
2 years. Okay. So tell us about your first year in real estate. What did that look like for you? Slide
So-
over a little bit.
So I came into real estate with a strong work ethic and knowing how to work hard and not necessarily knowing how to work very smart. So we often talk about sharpening your axe, making sure you got a better tool to cut down a tree. I've often likened my first year to trying to cut down a tree with a sledgehammer. So, I can swing pretty long and pretty hard, and I put a lot of work in. I did not have much results.
Okay.
It was hard.
What were your activities, and where were you focusing those activities?
So the beginning of it, Blake gave me the opportunity. He said, "Hey, so you could do a lot of different things. You could also call for sale by owners." And so I called, hand dialed through 1,600 for sale by owners, which took me a couple of months, 3 months to get done with that. And it was very, very hard conversations to have. I mean, these are the people who generally don't like realtors, which was a good thing because it taught me to be confident. It taught me to not care if they're upset. At the same time, it was something that didn't have a ton of fruit, and probably because of the sledgehammer, not so much because of who's there. Because I know there's
Gotcha.
people who built big businesses off of that. So if that's something you're going to endeavor to do, make sure you're working with the right scripts and make sure you have some right coaching around that.
Nice.
But we started with the concept that we did some numbers, we ran some numbers, and it came out to I needed 3 appointments a week and I think it was 86 contacts.
Okay.
So my heart and my goal was to do somewhere in the 100 to 150 contacts, 120 contacts a week, which is generally what I did. But with the dilemma of not having the sharpest axe, that wasn't as effective as I'd like.
Okay.
And I think honestly, it's I set a pretty big goal. I wanted 30 deals in 1 year on my first year.
And how many did you do?
I did 7.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Right.
so that made it a little bit tricky. There was there's the low times. There's the times you wonder what the heck did I just do? Why am I doing this? But I got through it by kind of taking the motto of don't flinch.
Okay.
Whatever comes, don't flinch. Keep doing what you need to do. If you need to do 80 contacts, do 100. And keep grinding at it. Because at some point, it takes a while to make a point on a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Right? But at some point, you're going to do it. So,
Nice. Okay. So what was your biggest mindset challenges in that first year?
well, when you're doing as many contacts as I was doing, and you're not seeing the results you'd like, you start to question yourself.
I remember you and I having a few conversations along the way.
Yeah. Is it me? Is it? And yeah, to an extent, it was me learning. It's me growing. It's me communicating. Honestly, the biggest mindset changes for me were being humble enough to say, you know what, there's classes I need to take.
This was the education piece.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a big part of it was education and knowing that, $800 for a bold class is terrifying.
Yeah,
When
it's a
you're
lot of
not
money.
making anything
Yeah.
and you're the sole provider,
Right.
and your wife's going, hey, honey, how do we feed the kids?
Yeah.
That's tough. And at the same time, it's exorbitantly valuable.
No, definitely.
Taking language of sales or language of agreement, it's $400. Absolutely worth it. If
Yeah.
you're right starting, take it immediately.
Nice.
It's those kind of things, just getting past the mindset and understanding that, in some ways it's cliche, but it takes money to make money.
Yep.
And
Nice.
if you're investing that money into yourself, it's not an expense, it's an investment.
Right, definitely. Did you get a lot of help from your sphere in your first year?
No,
No, okay.
no. 2 points on that. One, I didn't have a very great sphere, and that's probably my own drunk monkey.
Okay.
And along with that, I was terrified of my spear. I would rather call people who would tell me to go get bent than call my spear.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. So you mentioned lead sources as far as for sale by owners. Who else were you calling?
I made it my personal goal to go after the huge number of people that were in our boomtown.
Okay.
And go after the low-hanging fruit. And that's actually been extremely valuable. And that has that's paid off a lot. Go ahead and hand me that for a second.
You want me to decline this?
Yeah, decline that, yeah.
Just business rolling
yeah,
in.
just
That's what
business.
happens from that first year of calling through.
Right. If you look at my numbers now, the far majority of my business is directly out of Boomtown.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's
So
old 3-4-year-old leads. Mm-hmm. You call up and they say, I forgot I even did that.
Nice.
And you just keep asking the questions.
Yeah. How much emphasis are you putting on follow-up?
It's enormous.
Okay. Why?
Because a lot of times you may call somebody and they're having a bad day. You may call somebody and they're in the middle of a divorce, or they're whatever it is that day tells them to tell you to get bent. But being willing to ask the question and say, hey, do you mind if I follow up?
Yeah.
Would it offend you? And then doing that. I've had people come back and say, you know what, you're tenacious.
Yep.
I love the fact that you followed up. You've hung in there with me for a year.
Right.
You helped me get pre-qualified. That kind of stuff, that really means a lot for folks. And it's something I'm still growing in. It's something I still have to get better at.
Nice. So what would be your biggest, if you can think of one great piece of advice to all the people that are brand new or in their first year still, as far as prospecting, time management, anything that's you think would be very valuable for people coming in their first year?
Don't be afraid.
Of what?
Yeah. No, it's don't be afraid to prospect.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to be told off.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid when it doesn't seem like it's going to work out. When you have that, 100 contacts you got to get, and you're going to get 3 appointments out of that, and you do your 100 and you're at 0.
Well, then what do you do?
Then you don't be afraid, because it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
Right? Time on task over time beats talent every single time.
Yeah.
If you don't have the talent, you're going to get the talent, as long as you're willing to do it. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to go to somebody and say, hey, I feel like I'm really screwing this up. Because they might say, hey, I thought that too, and I really wasn't.
Right.
Right? Or don't be afraid to change. When somebody says, when Blake comes to me and says, Joseph, you got to stop saying that. Right? I've changed a lot.
Yeah.
And it's because I have people around me who've challenged me to not be afraid.
Nice.
Not be afraid of the little things, and don't be afraid of doing a whole heck of a lot more than other people tell you can do. We get people come in and they're like, yeah, I'm going to do 40 contacts. Do you want like 3 closings in a year? Don't be afraid to say, no, bag that. I'm going to go for 150. Nice. It's doable.
Yeah.
And it will build your business.
Definitely. Cool. Anything else you can think of?
Don't flinch.
Don't flinch.
Like whatever you do, don't flinch.
Nice.
You're going to do it. Just hold in there. Do the tasks that you got to do. And if you don't know you got to do them, do the tasks that other people tell you, who have experience, who have success. Success leaves clues.
Yep.
So do those things. Take it as a challenge. Be willing to fight. And when it looks like it's all falling down and you're barely holding it up, don't flinch, because you're going to make it.
Cool. Right on. Thanks, Joe.
Great.